Hey everybody, Big Anklovich here. It's Tuesday, and so it's time for another weigh-in day here on Big Anklovich on health. First of all, we're gonna go and get my reports on how the week has gone, and then we'll see what I weigh in on once we're done with those. So first of all, take it away, Big Anklovich. It is Tuesday night. And I have to admit that this morning when I weighed in, I didn't come anywhere near my goal. I was a little frustrated. And I may have eaten a bunch of Alfredo sauce that my wife made a little while ago in retaliation. Does that count? The stuff has cream cheese and Parmesan cheese and butter and possibly one other ingredient that I can't remember. But it's all stuff that I could eat. So I had that, and I had some other cheese as well. Just, I guess it's one of those emotional eating kind of things. I was trying to soothe my frustration. So anyways, along with that, I had eggs and bacon for breakfast. And then later, I had a big ribeye steak for lunch. That's what I had for my eating today. And then after that, I started up my fast, and I've been fasting since then. I'm, 8 hours in. So that's Tuesday. It is Wednesday afternoon, and I am out in the car again because I'm freezing to death in that air-conditioned office while fasting. So I'm out here trying to warm up, probably 130 degrees in this car, I'd bet, but it feels great. I'm fasting just fine. I was a little hungry earlier, had myself a couple pinches of salt. I don't know if that has made a huge difference, but the good thing about hunger pains is that they go away. They recede. They don't last for very long, and then you can just move on with your day. It is Thursday. This morning I woke up and I ended my fast at 43 and a half hours. And I had myself some bacon, some eggs, and also some of that liver that I talked about putting together last week. The liver is still, it's just super dry. I don't know what I did to it. Maybe cooking it and all that butter is not such a good idea. But it does kind of help it to taste good. I don't know what to do. I've heard that the more you cook something, if you cook something too much, it kills out all the nutrients in it. I don't want that, but I don't want to taste the liver really either. Someday I'll get over it maybe. I don't know. Later, I had some chicken. It was like a large portion of a rotisserie chicken, kind of like a quarter of it, I would say. I don't know, mostly like half of a breast. And I also had a hamburger patty. And then I remembered to get some bone broth out, and I warmed that up and had that with my meal, and that was really good. It was interesting because later on in the day, and this happens a lot where I work, people bring stuff in. There's stuff in for a TV show or something like that, or they'll send stuff into the station or whatever. There's always tempting treats. And I think this is probably one of the big advantages of being carnivore, especially after having tried a little bit of onions that one time and having had just a bad stomach ache. I see stuff like these brownies that were brought into the station, and I look at them and I think, boy, those look good. But what would happen to me if I was to eat them? Oh my gosh, I'm sure the stomach ache would be immense. And so I'm not really tempted by it. So that's a plus of carnivore. All right, it is Friday night. Well, afternoon, evening, we'll say. You can tell that it's definitely not night because if I put my head this way, my whole face turns white in the sunlight. A little overexposed here. Let's see if I can get, there we go, that's a little better. Anyways, I'm fasting now. I'm at like, I don't know, 28 hours, something like that. I'm doing just fine.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Well, thanks for asking. I'm doing fine.
I do, every day you get hungry at about the same time. You know, your body knows what time it is that you're supposed to eat, and it will send out the ghrelin, which is the hormone that makes you hungry, at about that time. If you don't eat, then it sends out the ghrelin. And after a while, the ghrelin goes away and you're not hungry anymore, and it will hit you again the next time you eat. And since I only eat usually once or twice every other day, I don't get the ghrelin hits all that much. So, you know, I get hungry right around noon, and that's pretty much it. I don't even get hungry usually in the morning, even though that's when I usually eat first after a fast. So yeah, tomorrow morning, I'll be ending my fast when I get somewhere around 40 hours, I think. And I look forward to that because I do enjoy eating. Okay, it is Saturday. This morning for breakfast, I had bacon, eggs, and sausage, it was a really big breakfast, and I was super full by the time I was done. I stayed full the whole day. I didn't eat anything at lunchtime. It wasn't until about 6:30, 7 o'clock that I finally ate something again. And I had steak. I can't remember what the cut was. It wasn't a ribeye steak. It was a different cut, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. And I put a whole bunch of butter onto the top of that steak. Probably a little too much butter because by the time it was done, I just had like a butter soup just floating around on the bottom of my plate. I didn't drink it. I probably should have, to tell you the truth. It would have been good for me. But I wound up pouring it down the drain. And I feel bad because that was a waste of good butter. Good Kerrygold grass-fed butter. And that's expensive butter too, so that's always a bummer. I also had these beef sticks that I found at Costco earlier in the day. They looked good to me, and I read the ingredients, and the ingredients all sounded like they were okay, safe, wasn't anything in it that should be a problem. So I decided to get some, and I've got a bunch left because it's Costco, and so of course they are gigantic packs. Okay, it is Sunday evening. I wish I forgot to take pictures of anything today, and I wish I had. I didn't eat until almost noon for my breakfast, which I guess is my lunch. I had 2 more of those beef sticks that I mentioned yesterday. Those are good. I like them. You'll find out how much I like them later. But I had 2 of those beef sticks, and then I also had chicken, a rotisserie chicken, like a thigh, and I want to say that I had some cheese that I just, pulled out of the fridge and ate a slice of it or something like that. And then later I had some more beef sticks. As I was saying, I like them. I had 2 more of them for dinner time. I got hungry, which doesn't happen a lot to me. But I didn't eat really all that much for breakfast / lunch, for brunch. So when it was dinner time, I was hungry before dinner was actually ready. And so I ate those beef sticks, and then my wife made ribs for dinner, and I ate a bunch of ribs, had a lot of them. And I set the bones aside to use in some bone broth for later. I probably ate some cheese or something. I think I ate maybe a little bit more, but that was pretty much it. I did snitch some bacon off of a plate she was making some kind of cauliflower, loaded cauliflower, I think it was called, and I stole some of the bacon away from that before she put it on the cauliflower and ruined it. Yeah, and then I started my fast. I started it sometime around 6 or I think it was 7 o'clock was when we finished up dinner. All right, it is Monday night. I am 28 hours into my fast. I was kind of bummed today because I came out to my car to try to warm up, and it wasn't warm. It was raining and stuff, and it was actually just kind of pleasant in my car instead of being super, super hot. Here's a shot that I took this morning of myself putting on 2 pairs of wool socks to try and keep my feet warm during my fasts. It's something I've been doing actually for a while. and it's still not enough. My feet are cold now. I'm heading home. That means my fast is going to be a little short because it's only like 9-10 hours before I break that fast. Probably end up at about 38 hours, which I guess is my usual Monday fast. And then in the morning, we'll see what I weigh in at. Oh, crap. Okay. Thanks for those reports, Big Anklovich. You do a fine work out there. All right. So now it's time for the big moment, the big reveal. How did the weigh-in go? My goal was supposed to be 252 this week. I didn't make my goal last week, and I made the decision that I would stick with the same goal without changing it, rolling it back so that it would be easier for me to make. Let's see. Did I make it to 252? Okay. I didn't make it to 252. I did manage to make last week's goal, which was 255. I got all the way down to 254.4, but that was last week's goal, not this week's goal. So what's the deal? I lost 2.4 pounds, which is not bad. I can't complain about that. But I had a schedule set up so that I would get to a certain point. Basically, I was just guessing when I made the schedule up as to how much I would probably be losing at each point in my process. I assumed that I would probably be at 3 pounds a week at this point, but I've had a couple of weeks where I haven't made the 3 pounds. I gained 0.5 pounds one week, and I only lost 1.4 pounds on another week, and it's put me back. And I don't know that I can make it up, so maybe it's time to give up on that and drop it down to just 2 pounds a week is my goal. I don't want to do that, but what good is it going to do me to continually fail to meet my goal other than probably depress me? So I guess at least this week I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave the goal at 252 instead of changing it down to what it would have been 249 next week, which would be cool. It'd be neat to get out of the 250s and into the 240s. And who knows, maybe I could still get it. But I'm not going to count on that because I don't expect it. I'm going to leave my goal at 252 for next week. And we'll see 2.4 more pounds and I'll be there. Turns out that I guess losing 2.4 pounds was just exactly half of what I needed to do to get to 252. So let's do the other half of it this week and let's see how it goes. I'm pretty excited though. Overall, I'm at 42.6 pounds lost. That's a lot of weight. That's 14.34. 3 4 3 4 3. It's just repeating 3 4s. 14.34 3 4 3 4, etc. Percent of my weight from when I started out is what I've lost so far. That's a lot, but it's not anywhere near the finish line. So I got to keep going. That's what we're looking at for next week. We'll see how it goes, see if I can get to my goal, see if I can crank up my progress, see if I can turn it up. 252 is what I'm shooting for next week. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time on Big Anklovich on Health.